Hey guys, I'm Gurpreet Singh back with another exciting video of chapter triangles. So far we have discussed congruency rules, different congruency rules and one theorem for isosceles triangle as well. Today we are going to discuss theorem number 7.4, which is actually a new congruence rule, that is SSS rule. So yeah, first let me write theorem 7.4, that is SSS rule. Now you can clearly see that SSS, of course, it stands for side, side, and side. So what does it mean? It means if there are two triangles, yeah, don't mind my drawing skills, ABC, and the next one can be PQR, and if all the three sides are equal, like AB is equals to PQ, AC is equals to PR, and BC is equals to QR, then these triangles are known to be congruent triangles, and that solely because of which rule? That is side 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 congruency rule. This is basically your theorem 7.4, and there is no proof of this in your syllabus. You just have to remember that when to use SSS rule. Okay, so this is a new rule that you can add in your dictionary of congruency rules. Now its statement is, to be more precise, let me state that if three sides of one triangle are equal to the three sides of another triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. As simple as that, nothing complicated. Okay, so this was theorem 7.4. There is one more rule which is left, and it is precisely the last congruency rule of this chapter. Let's discuss that. This is our next congruency rule, that is known as RHS rule. It states that if in two right triangles the hypotenuse and one side of one triangle are equal to hypotenuse and one side of the other triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. This is the statement. Let me draw two triangles for you to make it more clear. So these are two right angle triangles, right angled at B and right angled at Q. Now it states that if there are two right angle triangles, the hypotenuse and one side, it means AC, and any one of these two sides, for example say AC and AB, are equal to PR and PQ respectively. It means AC must be equal to PR because these are hypotenuses, and AB must be equal to PQ. Now AB can also be equal to PQ and CB can also be equal to RQ, because it states that in two right angle triangles, hypotenuse and one side, any one side of one triangle are equal to hypotenuse and one side of the other triangle, then the two triangles are called as congruent triangles. Now there is one condition for this theorem to be hold satisfactorily, is that these two triangles must be right angle triangles, and it's the only rule, I guess, in which only two things are included, one hypotenuse and other side. Otherwise we have studied that SSS, three sides, two angles and one side, two sides and one angle. Okay, so those are the kind of rules in which three sides or one angle, or two sides or one angle, I mean to say three things were included, but here only hypotenuse and one side is required. Yeah, provided with the triangle is a right angle triangle already given. If it's not given, then you have to prove that triangles are right angle triangle, and only then you can use RHS rule to prove that these two triangles are congruent triangles. Now talking about the expansion of RHS, that is right angle hypotenuse side rule. Okay, so this was RHS rule. So let's do some of the examples. Only two examples are there in this exercise 7.3, and we'll be applying these two principles. So just get refreshed and get reminded of these principles before starting the examples. All right, so let's move ahead. This is our statement of example 7th. It's very important example. AB is a line segment and P and Q are points on opposite sides of AB. So firstly, let's draw the diagram till here that AB is a line segment and P and Q are the points on opposite sides of AB. Now here's the thing. AB is a line segment and P and Q are points on opposite sides of AB such that each of them is equidistant from point A and B. It means P is also equidistant from A and B, Q is also equidistant from A and B. Okay, so it means that PA is equals to PB and QA is equals to QB, already given. We have to show that line PQ is the perpendicular bisector of AB, that PQ is bisecting AB at a 90-degree angle. We have to prove that. Let's this point be C. Now this is the thing that we have to prove, that ACP is 90 degree, and the second thing, it is a bisector. It means it is dividing AB into two equal parts. AC is equals to BC. Okay, so firstly we can write what we have to prove. We have to prove that angle ACP is equals to 90 degree and AC is equals to BC. Clear? Now you can see that we have done the sums like this previously as well, and we only have to prove that triangles are congruent. You can see that AC is equals to BC. Now AC is equals to BC. Now you must be thinking that let's prove the triangles APC and BPC congruent triangles, because AP is equals to PB already and PC and PC common, and also angle A is equals to angle B, because these are the angles opposite to the equal sides, the theorem that which we have done in the previous video. Okay, so yeah, so these triangles can easily proven to be congruent and you can easily write AC is equals to BC, but we are not going to use this rule because our two sides are this and this, which are equal, but the angle is this one. We have to see what included angle is, that is APC. If APC is equals to CPB, only then these two triangles can be proved to be congruent triangles, otherwise not. Alright, so this is the major mistake that some of the students do in this sum. They directly prove these triangles to be congruent, but that's wrong. So what will we do first? We will prove these two triangles to be congruent, and when these two triangles are proven to be congruent, then easily we can write by CPCT that APC is equals to BPC. Then you have got your third angle, and that is the included angle. Then easily you can prove that these two triangles are congruent and AC is equals to BC. So let's start with our work. We have written that what we have to prove. So firstly write given things as well. It's given that P and Q are equidistant, that I have indicated in the diagram, but we can write that PA is equals to PB, and similarly QA is equals to QB. Yeah, these are the things that are given. So firstly, as I have told you, just take triangles PAQ and PBQ. So in triangle PAQ and PBQ, it's very much clear that PQ is equals to PQ. First we write the equal things, of course. PQ is equals to PQ. Why? Because it's a common side. After that, AP is equals to PB. AP is equals to PB. That is also given. Also AQ is equals to BQ. That is also given. Yeah, so by using which rule? S rule, because this is also a side, this is also a side, and this is also a side. So by using SSS rule, we can easily write that triangle PAQ is congruent to triangle PBQ by using SSS rule. Right? Now, what was our purpose? I have to prove that APQ is equals to angle BPQ. Yeah, so we can easily write that angle APQ is equals to angle BPQ. Why so? By using CPCT, because these two triangles are congruent, so all the corresponding angles and sides are already equal. Yeah, so we have proved this. Now take our desired triangles, that is APC and CPB, in triangle PAC or APC and triangle PBC. You can see that AP is equals to PB. Again, AP is equals to PB. This is already given. The common side, that is PC. PC is equals to PC. Why? Because it's common. Now here's the thing. We can write APC is equals to CPB. APC is equals to angle CPB. Why so? Due to 1. Now why? APQ was equal to BPQ, so automatically APC is equals to BPC because the angle is same. So yeah, this is side, this is again side, and this is our angle, and it's the included angle between two sides. So yeah, triangle PAC can be proven to be easily congruent to BPQ by SAS rule. But what was our motive to prove this? That PA is equals to PB, that is given, I'm sorry, we have to prove that AC is equals to BC, which is the third side of the two triangles. So you can easily write AC is equals to BC by CPCT, because these two triangles are now congruent triangles, and that's why corresponding parts are equal to each other. Okay, now also these two triangles are congruent to each other. It means if this side is equal, this angle is also equal. ACP is equals to PCB, again by CPCT. ACP is equals to angle BCP. But here's the thing, these two triangles, we have proved that these are equal, but we have not proved that these two angles are equal to 90 degree. We can easily use the concept of linear pairs, right? Because these two angles are on one line, so ACP plus PCB will be equal to 180 degree. Angle ACP plus angle BCP is equals to 180 degree. Why? Because these are forming a linear pair. We have just written ACP is equals to BCP by CPCT. So you can write that 2 of angle ACP is equals to 180 degree, or you can write that angle ACP is equals to 90 degree. So yeah, these two angles are now 90 degree. Also AC is equals to BC. So these two things are indicating the second and third thing, that PQ is a perpendicular bisector of AB. Yeah, it was a lengthy example, but you can clearly see that how easy it has gone, and you can do the same thing, just prove the triangle similar, but don't force the triangles to be similar. Just work in a systematic way and go in a sequence of steps. Only then you will be able to find the correct rule by applying which you are getting your triangles to be congruent. Otherwise you can really mess up with the sums. All right, so yeah, only one example is left. Let's do that. And we have applied SSS rule in this, so evidently we will be doing RHS rule in the last example. This is our concluding example of this exercise. It states that P is a point equidistant from two lines L and M. P is a point that is equidistant from two lines L and M. It's already given. The diagram is already given, so don't worry about that. Intersecting at A, two lines are intersecting at A, and P is equidistant from both lines. So firstly we can write that PB is equals to PC. That's already given. Yep. Now we have to show that the line AP bisects angle between them. That AP line is bisecting the angle between the lines. Now this is the angle between the lines, so we have to prove that angle PAB is equals to angle PAC. And again these two angles are given to be right angle triangles. Okay, that PC is perpendicular to AM, you can say the AC, or PB is perpendicular to AB. Now yeah, you can also say that PB is perpendicular to line L and PC is perpendicular to line M. This is already given. We have to prove this thing, that PAB is equals to angle PAC. Now you can clearly see that we have to consider these two triangles, and we have to prove these two triangles to be congruent, and then we can easily write by CPCT that angle PAB is equals to angle PAC. So firstly consider two triangles. Which are those? PBA triangle PBA and triangle PAC or PCA. Okay, so now PB is equals to PC, that is already given. After that, can you write that PA is equals to PA again? These are the easiest steps. Actually, these are the easiest ones. PA is equals to PA. Why so? Because it's common. Now you have proved that one side and one side are equal to each other, but there is nothing else that you can prove to be equal. Now notice one thing, that these two triangles are right angle triangle, so there is a possibility of RHS rule, right? So now this was the hypotenuse, of course, that is PB is equals to PC, and this is hypotenuse, and this is our perpendicular. Yeah, you can say that this is our perpendicular, or you can say that in front of 90-degree angle, that is our hypotenuse. PA is equals to PA, it's common, and the other side, that is PB is equals to PC. Now we have just studied that if hypotenuse and one side of one right angle triangle is equal to the hypotenuse and one side of the other right angle triangle, then ultimately two triangles are congruent to each other by using RHS rule, provided it is given that angle PBA is equals to angle PCA, which is 90-degree angle. So now two triangles are proven to be congruent. You can easily write angle PAB is equals to angle PAC by CPCT. So this is how, friends, you can prove these kind of things, and you can apply RHS rule and SSS rule. I hope you have found this video really helpful, but if you find any problem in attempting any example in any diagram or any sum, you can DM me. The link of my Insta ID is given in the description, and don't feel hesitated while asking me the questions, and you can also use the comment section. So before leaving, don't forget to press the subscribe button to get these kind of videos on a regular basis. Share it with your friends, your relatives, and any other student who is in need of these kind of videos. All right, thanks for watching, friends, and keep practicing. All the very best, and see you in the next video.